Welcome to another episode of Past the Six Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Brown. Joining me as always, the Tsunamic Wave. What's going on, my brother?
I'm chilling like a villain on penicillin. Now I'm playing. I'm all right, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Good. No complaints. No complaints. Another week. We're doing this live. So shout out to everybody who's watching and will be watching or has watched or has listened, whatever. Shout out to all y'all.
Yeah, shout out.
So, with that said, if you guys are new to the show, I know obviously broadcasting this to Facebook and YouTube and everything. If you're new to the show is split into now. It's actually split into, I guess still actually split into 4 parts now. Technically 5, right? We started with what games we're currently playing. Then from there, we're going to This Week in Gaming, where we briefly look back on games that dropped throughout this week in history. Then from there, we'll touch upon some topics. Then we'll end with One Gotta Go or Game Versus. This week is my week. So with that said, you ready to get it?
Let's get it, man.
No doubt. With that said, what games you been currently playing, bro?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been just playing 2K. I ain't been playing too many other games. I played a little bit of Apex here and there. Actually, nope, I'm lying. Let me. I played Deathloop as well because it just came to Game Pass a couple of days ago. If you're not familiar with Deathloop, is about a guy who is trying to get out of this loop that him and a couple of other individuals created. I ain't gonna give you no other details because that might bring some spoilers to the game. So that's just really the gist of it. Outside of that, 2K and a tiny bit of Apex, man.
No doubt, for me, I've been playing. I got into Deathloop as well. Obviously, it coming to Game Pass. I wish I would have been able to obtain a PlayStation, so I would have played it a year ago. But I'm just happy to be playing it now, right? So far, having fun with that game. Play some WWE 2K22. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart Deluxe 8. Obviously, they put a new map pack out with 8 new courses. That's 8. So now we got 16 out of the 48 that's now out, which is crazy. How the DLC is 48, right?
That's
some of the new tracks obviously are remakes of like the Super Nintendo version, N64, the Wii, whatever. I'm having a lot of fun with that game. I also played Star Wars Fallen Jedi. I always forget the name of it. It's on Game Pass.
You said it right.
Yeah. And I think that game is dope, man. I still think that game is incredible. I actually never played a bad Star Wars game ever. So, even though I'm not even the biggest fan of the movies like that, I find the games incredible. I've always have.
I agree.
So
the same way.
So with that said, let's jump right into This Week in Gaming, where we briefly look back on games that dropped throughout this week in history. And the first game we're talking about this week, and if you played these games, comment down in the chat below. What's your thoughts on these games? So the first game we're talking about is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which dropped 22 years ago. I'm gonna let you go first, and I'm wait. What's your thoughts on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, man?
First of all, my thoughts is 22 years ago on the screen make me feel mad old. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna tell you how old I was when this came out. Just know I was old enough to be pretty good at the game. This came out at a time when my fingers was pretty young and I could do these 1,000,000-point combos and billion-point combos. I had a lot of fun on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, man. As a kid, you got a ton of free hours, and this was a game that I got into skating games and skating a little bit. I know how to do an ollie. You know what I mean? So I skated a little bit because of this game. The first one and this one, pretty dope. I can't do the combos now. I do still have it because they did the remaster versions. But I can't do all of that no more, man. But Tony Hawk's, man.
Jessica Brown with 1,000,000-point combos. Yeah, I mean,
hey,
that was a thing in Tony Hawk.
Do that. I can't do that.
Right. For me, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, man, obviously, is probably my favorite Tony Hawk game of all time. That's why I was so hyped when they remade Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 for the current gen and kind of remastered and everything. Look, man, whether it's the second iteration of the school map or whether it's the Philly, that game is just incredible, man. That's one of those games where not only is it good, but nostalgia kicks in too, that with that specific game. You know what I mean? I could even say I spent more time on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 when that dropped on the GameCube and the Xbox, but just this original one, I Obviously, the one for PlayStation was incredible. The soundtrack is one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. Even if you don't like that genre of music, like that soundtrack was absolutely incredible, man.
Yeah, they had some hits on there. I can't even lie.
Yeah, like shout out to Neversoft, and obviously upstate New York is well represented in the game because obviously the warehouse, the opening map is out of Albany. You know what I mean? So
I
like,
did not know that. That's dope.
yeah. So it's literally out of Albany. I don't know if anybody knows that. Neversoft is actually a local company to that area. So like, it's actually dope to see that because like, if they go to New York, it's always a city, right? So like, and rightfully so, I guess. But to see that be in the game, it was just dope. It was dope then. It's dope now. So like, yeah, yo. So with that said, let's jump into the next game. The next game we talking about is Star Fox Adventures, was dropped on the GameCube 20 years ago, which is crazy to me that GameCube games are 20 years old now, right? That's kind of wild. Yeah, I'm gonna kick this one off, man. Star Fox Adventures. Obviously, Star Fox 64 is the big one. That's the one everybody talk about. And I'm gonna say Star Fox Adventures is slightly overrated. And the only reason why I say, I'm sorry, underrated, not overrated, only because Star Fox 64 is a better game, but like the way that people kind of say Star Fox 64 is way better, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, now, granted, I've only played through Star Fox Adventures twice because it's one of the more expensive games out there in terms of trying to buy it from, your local game store or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of the same game, just a new story, right? So like, I don't get how people kind of fell off the Star Fox game on this GameCube. So what's your thoughts on this game?
I ain't gonna lie. Well, I mean, it's not like this is a secret anymore. I probably said this a few times during the podcast. I never had a GameCube, so a bunch of the games I haven't played unless I played with a buddy or something. And this ain't one of the games I ever played. So when I actually saw this, I'm like, oh, this is dope. You know me, I like to come up with like games that it remind me of because usually they do copy and paste versions. This is like it reminded me of Mario 64, I guess I want to say, but a more better version. And since I didn't play it, I can't really speak on the storyline, but it does seem like a really good game that I missed. Maybe I could play it on an emulator or something because I'm still not gonna buy a GameCube.
Hey man, some folks is talking about how Nintendo might actually start bringing the GameCube games to the Switch Online service. So you never know, man.
Work. That would
never
work.
Ever know. All right, yo, let's jump into the next game. The next game we're talking about is a classic, both in the streets and everywhere else. Def Jam Fight for New York, man. 18 years ago now.
Oh, that's not that bad. 18 years.
Yeah, like on one hand, it's like, okay, cool. It's only been 18 years, but at the same time, I'm like, I remember buying the game for the first time, like it was yesterday, right? Obviously, it's coming off Def Jam Vendetta, and I thought that game was dope as well. I thought that game was incredible. This one obviously made it a little bit more of a fighting game versus like that kind of wrestling fighting games, like mix up that Vendetta was. Yo, this game was incredible, bro. It's difficult as hell. It's actually funny if you go online, you just search like Def Jam Fight for New York. Everybody talking about like the battle with Fat Joe, of course.
Yo,
right?
That was gonna be the first thing I said. F Fat Joe.
Yo,
not the real Fat Joe, but
this game for anybody out there who may be watching this now or watching it like later, I want to let you know if you have this game, hold on to it, because if you are looking specifically for the GameCube and the Xbox versions, they can be hard to find. So like you're gonna pay about $95 for it if you want it, right? Which is a lot for an 18-year-old game. So the PS2 version is more like 70, which is still crazy because that's the price of a PS5 game now. So anybody out there who play Def Jam Fight for New York, definitely let me know. Comment down below your thoughts on Def Jam Fight for New York. For now, I'm gonna kick it over to Tsunamic Wave.
I think the thing that made Fat Joe such a pain was he was so nimble. Like the dude I don't know, like it's like he reversed everything. Like it was just hard to really, really put combos together against Fat Joe on that game. I think that's why everybody don't particularly like fighting him, because like in a game like Def Jam Fight for New York, like you have to be able to grab and grapple. That's a big part of your arsenal. And Fat Joe didn't allow you to use that. So you had to really like get in your bag or be strategic for the older population. You know what I'm saying? In order to beat them. And that can't be fun all the time, especially when you come home and you want to chill. You're like, let me just try to beat this game, and you gotta fight Fat Joe. Like, yeah, you ain't chilling. You don't have to get in sweat mode. You know what I mean?
Like,
unless you play it on easy. Nobody does.
Yeah. Like that don't count. If you playing on easy, just
nobody does.
Don't. Like you kind of don't count. You like, cause I saw somebody say with I think it's MK2 on Sega Genesis. They was like, yo, that game's easy. I should run through that game. Like, what difficulty you play on? Easy. That don't count. Like,
of course it's easy, fool.
Right. Like
it tells you it's gonna be easy. It's in the top. It's in the settings. You put easy.
Right.
Expecting the challenge.
Like
that's kind of.
I'm weird. Like, yo, man. But yo, that's all we got for this week in gaming. Next week, obviously, we have some more games to talk about. For now, let's jump right into topics. And the first topic we talking about is this Sony and Microsoft back and forth beef. Last week, of course, we talked about Grand Theft Auto, so we're not going to cover that today. Obviously, there is an update that the alleged person was arrested. And hey, man, we kind of said it was going to happen when we kind of did that. Go back and check that out on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page. But for right now, let's talk about Sony and Microsoft, yo. Obviously, this all stems around Call of Duty. It's literally the only game. Some people say Diablo. It's more about Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty is the #1 game out. Everybody wants to play that particular game. Let me ask you this question. Not financially speaking, because we know that's what it's about. I'm just like, think outside the box. Is Call of Duty even worth it? Worth all this back and forth drama wise? Because PlayStation is saying it's not just money. Like they want everybody needs to have access to COD. Although Microsoft never explicitly said they're going to take it exclusive. What's your thoughts in this overall thing? You know what I mean?
Let me just say this first. This is gonna be kind of hard for me to not answer this biasly. I mean, unbiasedly. I'm trying my best though. I guess I would say this, right? First of all, you said not to mention money and try to think outside of the box. It's hard because that's literally what it's about. Because Call of Duty literally could make a crap game. They made Modern Warfare 2 4 times. Yeah, people still gonna buy it, bro. So like,
right.
Let's be real. This is all. That's the bottom line. But as far as the back and forth go, I understand it from PlayStation view because this is a top tier game that PlayStation is used to have it on their platform, and to make it an exclusive for Xbox after over 10 years, that's craziness.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie, even though I'm more of an Xbox player than a PlayStation player, I really feel, it's absolutely about money. I absolutely feel for PlayStation owners if this happens, because they won't have access to Modern Warfare 2 when it come out again 4 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely gonna drop that again, and they ain't gonna have access to Warzone 3 or any other. And it's just gonna make the community smaller, and And I don't know. I don't know. It don't work for me. I don't like it. And like I said, it's gonna be hard for me to answer that unbiasedly. I don't like it.
Yo, it definitely is. And again, shout out to our man Vic for saying it's definitely about money. Look, Call of Duty obviously is the biggest game out, right? It always is. The only time it ever is not #1 in sales is if there's a new Mario or Zelda game out, right? That's literally the only time it's not #1. Modern Warfare 2 drops in about a month. It's going to be #1 for at least God of War. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be the highest selling game at the end of this year and the start of next year. So with that said, obviously from a money standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world, right? Like, it's that important to, especially PlayStation. Microsoft is flirting with putting it on Game Pass. Obviously, we know they still see money from that, but for PlayStation, it's crucial. That's $70 a copy. right? And they're not going to get the full 70, of course, because you got to bust it up with Activision and Infinity Ward and everything. But it is important. So, but non-money standpoint, look, man.
I just thought about something non-money on a non-money standpoint.
God, yeah, God.
Like, think about this, right? In 3 years from now, that's when the contract is up. That's when Xbox plan to make it exclusive. 3 years later is usually 6-year span for consoles. So in 3 years, when the next console come out, people that buy systems just to play Call of Duty is not going to be able to say, "Oh, I'm just going to buy this PlayStation real quick."
Right.
To get Call of Duty, they're going to have to buy an Xbox. That's going to kill a lot of PlayStation sales. It ain't going to be like 20% or something, but they still going to lose some console sales off of losing Call of Duty. Like this is a big loss, like really big. If it happens.
And here's the key that I'm thinking of. I think there's zero, and I mean, and in this case, I legit mean zero chance Microsoft has any plans to ever take it off PlayStation. I think what Microsoft is trying to do is, I think either A, they're hunting to get certain PlayStation games to not be exclusive, or at least a time exclusive, kind of how Deathloop was, specifically God of War and Spider-Man, right? Those are the two big ones, right? Or they're trying to get Game Pass onto PlayStation, because we already know Microsoft and Nintendo's been flirting about putting Game Pass on the Nintendo Switch. Microsoft, I don't think Microsoft would have a care in the world if PlayStation use Game Pass, right? Microsoft doesn't really care about that. That's more of a Sony thing. Now, I think PlayStation, I get it, man. Look, you got literally, let's call it for what it is. Your breadwinner, the breadwinning game can possibly is being bought by and controlled by the competition, right? So I get why there's cause for alarm, but Microsoft has stated many times, and some people say you can't believe what Microsoft says or whatever, but they say they have no desire to ever bring COD exclusive. The whole point was they just wanted to buy Activision Blizzard. Like, now it does sound a little sketchy. Like, it's a little sketchy because it's like, no, we're not going to take it away. But it's like, okay, but what's the negotiating tactic with it?
Right.
So PlayStation does have cause for concern. I get it.
Right. Because remember, Xbox always talked about they always talk about I can't think of the word, but including everybody, inclusivity. Right. That's what I was trying to say. And just bringing games to every platform, whether it's through phones or computers, which they have done over the last couple of years. So if they even think of doing that, that's going backwards on what they've been building towards. So I can't see that happening just off of that. But PlayStation have been being petty over the course of their lifespan. So I could see, I don't know, man. Maybe Xbox want to hit them where it hurts. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I can't see them going against themselves just to spite PlayStation.
Let me ask you this question, all right? If Microsoft somehow, let's say the deal goes through, which I still think the deal is going to go through. I think it should be done by June of next year, right? Let's say Microsoft is like, all right, we'll never control COD exclusive, right? But we will everything else. You think PlayStation would care? Sony? You always have access to COD, no issues, no nothing, but everything else under Activision's getting locked down.
Yeah, they will have a problem because I don't. I'm trying to think of all the Activision games.
Diablo, Dead Space.
That
not Dead
PlayStation
Space.
really. Yeah, I can't think of too many. I don't think they would really care as long as they could have COD. COD is the one,
right?
Because like I said, people literally buy consoles to play COD. My boy Vic, shout out to my boy. He commented on a show earlier. Yeah. He literally only plays COD. Like, so he has his system just to play COD. And my other homies that he played with, they got their systems of they liking just to play COD. Like, so if that goes away from PlayStation, he won't have a reason to buy another one. Like, so they would lose. That's a customer right there. And then my other friends he play with, I don't think any of them play PlayStation, but if they do, that's another one right there.
Right.
But the whole point is they could lose customers off losing this. Any other game in Activision, I can't see people saying, "Oh, I can't get PlayStation because they don't have whatever other." I can't even think of them. That's my point.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think they tripping over the Tony Hawk game, right? Like,
Nah,
they
done
not
played that for years already.
Yeah. So look, man. Yo, with that said, let's jump into the next topic, man. And this one's just more of a question. It's not even like a actual serious topic. I'm just curious, man. And comment down below if you, for those watching. Actually, we got a comment real quick. Let's jump into this comment because it had to do with the last thing. This purchase is Microsoft speaking softly but carrying a big stick. That's an interesting thing because Microsoft's, like I said, I don't believe Microsoft is innocent, right? Like, oh, we're just trying to buy it. We're not trying to shake up the game. We're not trying to buy. No, they're definitely like got something at play, right? And it's Game Pass. That's what that is. They're trying to say, PlayStation, just allow us to put Game Pass on PlayStation. Anybody who wants to play Call of Duty, I promise you it is. Because think how many users PlayStation has. And each of them, instead of paying $70 for COD, they would just take that money, turn it into $15 a month, and then boom, now you can play whatever you want on Game Pass.
But then PlayStation will have to eliminate the PlayStation Access or whatever they call a Game Pass that they got. They have to eliminate that. They just bought that out. So
right, but it's not quite the same thing because that's more retro games. That's not even just like no new games are getting dumped straight into that. That's something we'll cover next week because next week PlayStation basically came out and said like, nah, you're gonna pay this $70. Like that, it's premium for a reason. Speaking of PlayStation Plus, we got to PlayStation Plus Essential is trash.
Is it though? Dang, that's brutal.
Comment down below, Levante, what don't you like about it? I'm curious because I've heard a lot of negative things. I did hear some positives about the retro games, right? Being able to play some of those PS1 titles, but I'm curious why you think it's trash. At first I thought it was until PlayStation came out and just said, look, we're not trying to copy Game Pass. There will be no new games on there day 1, not even day 10, not even month 3.
I was just about to say, did we talk about this? And I told you when they put out old games, this is not gonna work. Nobody want to play old games. And Levante is a younger gentleman, so I'm pretty sure that's the main thing is because all of the games are retro. Where's the new games that they grew up on? Like it ain't just about us. What about them? What they got games they grew up on too. And like I feel like I knew if they did it wrong, it was going to backfire. So you're right. This might open up the back door for Xbox to try to put Game Pass on the PlayStation. But do you really think that's what this play is about? Or could they be having that big stick like Jess said, just to keep PlayStation at bay from trying to buy any other companies? You feel what I'm saying? Like just to have, because PlayStation was buying things too, and that kind of stopped once Activision was kind of bought by Xbox.
Right.
So like that could have been a reason too.
Part of me thinks Microsoft is slightly being petty from the standpoint of, all right, if we instead of dumping millions and millions and millions and millions of money into Xbox studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do what PlayStation done more quietly. But you know, Microsoft, they always got to go big and big and big, right? Microsoft, instead of saying like, oh, we're gonna buy Insomniac, right, which is a great game studio, but it's also a smaller game studio, right? And if you guys don't know, they make the Spider-Man games. I think when Microsoft was like, all right, instead of buying Insomniac or some of these small studios, we're just going to buy the big ones. The big ones need to be bought out. We're just going to buy the big ones. And I think that's why folks are like, it's not fair. Insomniac was a very small studio, although they make powerhouse games. But I think they were like, So Levante just said, let's see, compared to Game Pass is trash. PlayStation be dropping games that are mad old. And I've never heard You called it. Like before they switched to the 3-tier games was decent. I'm sorry. Like Days Gone or FIFA. Now I gotta make more to get those games. Look, You called it. Yeah, you called it. I get it. It's probably more for older folks where it's like, oh, all these PS1 games, PS2 games, I could jump on.
Right.
So, and the price is a little steep, right? Because for $15 a month with Game Pass, we're getting new games dropped in day one, right? Versus
Yeah.
$20 for what is it called? What's the highest ones?
I don't
Premium
even the
or whatever.
three tier thing.
Yeah, and you're playing games on cloud. So I kind of understand how that's like, look, man, PlayStation, they literally came out and said their bread and butter is $70 premium price for the new games. That's their thing. They likened it to the movies, right? Where it's like you go to the movies to see the big blockbuster films. 6 months, 7 months down the line, then you could watch it on Netflix or TV. You know what I mean? That's literally the analogy they used this past week.
They had the blueprint and fumbled the bag, bro. They had the blueprint and fumbled the bag. Xbox showed them how to do it. Put them old joints on like a gold tier thing, and then let the little developers make games and put that on there, and then put some big in. Is God of War, any of the God of Wars on that PlayStation thing?
I think God of War 1 is. I know that for a fact.
Not even 2 and 3. They don't have all three of the like. This is what I'm saying. They fumbled that back. They could have put a lot of nice PlayStation games in that package. That would have hit each and every decade and year of all of our nostalgia or however whatever. You know what I'm saying? Would have made us like, you gotta hit every generation. You just going for the P1 games. Who cares about that? I don't even care. Like, I like PlayStation 1. I had a lot of fun.
Right.
But I can't name 5 games on PS1 off the top of my head.
Shout out to Vix James, the homies. $70.
Right. He's wilding.
Right. You gotta buy the trilogy set. Look, man.
And then you gotta buy the God of War trilogy set for $70 when they got a whole thing. They could have just put them joints on for free, and then you could have subscribed to it, and they would have made more than $70 off you in like a year or so.
Right. Look, I don't understand why they do what they do, but PlayStation obviously generates a bunch of money, so it works. Look, that's all I can say on that. Like, yo, let's jump into the next topic. Appreciate all the comments. Let's keep those going. And here's the next question, the next topic. What games are you anticipating? I'm curious. So I'm gonna start with myself. The games I'm anticipating going, late 2022, going into 2023. I'm anticipating number one, first and foremost, is God of War. I'm trying to hunt down a PlayStation now, right? Because sometimes on the show we'll rag on PlayStation for their business practices, because obviously I think we're kind of getting past the whole premium game price and everything like that. But God of War is something I would pay the $70 for, of course.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I can't wait for that game. I know that game is going to be incredible. Another game, and shout out to Wave on this, is that High on Life game, man. Like, and that's coming directly to Game Pass. It's on PlayStation as well. So if you play on PlayStation, check it out. That game, High on Life, looks like it's gonna be hilarious, but also dope. Check out the trailer if you have not saw it. So those are like probably the top 2 games I'm anticipating, right? I am going to play COD when it drops. I'm probably going to get that day one. I know the beta is out now, so if you guys don't know, the beta for Modern Warfare 2 is out now. It's an open beta. Go check it out. It's live on the Xbox Store and the PlayStation Store. So just go and download it and play it, and come back and let us know how that is next week. I'll talk about it too. I do plan to play it. Other than that, it's really those 2 games. Since Stalker 2 Chernobyl got pushed back into 2023, that doesn't even have a release date anymore. So I'm a little concerned about that game. So with that said, I'm going to ask Tsunamic Wave, but first we got a comment from Levante. God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, so he's like, look, man, that's a blockbuster. Ever since the PlayStation 5 got announced, ever since the PlayStation 5 got announced, that was the game that everybody was talking about. Where's this God of War at, right? And Hogwarts is not too far behind it, although that's it's not exclusive. It's multi-platform. That game got pushed back too until February. It's supposed to be out in December. And you got a comment from Jessica. I wish I could look forward to Stalker. Look, that game got announced when the Xbox Series X got announced, and yet it got pushed back twice now. Now with no release date, I'm worried, man. I'm tired of watching the same trailer. Like,
right. We gotta give some grace because of the crunch culture thing is not a thing no more. So we ain't getting games in 6 to 8 months. They get to take their time now.
6 to 8 years, yes.
They get to take their time. Hey, whatever helps make a good, beautiful game. As far as me, I think I'm doubling down on everything you said. Like, I haven't seen anything new that I'm anticipating outside of the Hogwarts thing and High on Life. Obviously, well, let me not say obviously because y'all don't know this. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I'm probably gonna put in tons of hours on the Hogwarts thing, depending on how they do it and how they make it as far as the multiplayer and everything goes. It looks beautiful. The fighting looks better than the movies. It almost looked like Star Wars / Harry Potter, so I can't wait to dive into that. And like you said, High on Life, I'm a major, like, yo, if any game I could tell you to go check out, it is that High on Life. Go look that up. Go look it up. The people that created this game is the same people that created Rick and Morty. So if you're a Rick and Morty fan, if you watch that show, if you're familiar with that show, if you've seen any commercials, those are the dudes that did this game. It comes out in November. I already got it pre-downloaded on my Xbox, so I'm just waiting for it to say ready to start so I could play. But that's like literally those two games is really the only two games I'm waiting for. I haven't even looked at, and I feel like I'm cheating on those games if I look at any other games. Those games, I'm salivating. I can't wait. Those games look crazy. I hope it don't do me like Cyberpunk though, because this is how it felt for Cyberpunk. And then when Cyberpunk came out, I felt disrespected.
Yeah, no, I think we all did with Cyberpunk. There's only one other game that because like Modern Warfare, it's not that I'm looking forward to it. It's just more like I want to see what they did, because I've been hearing a lot of complaints how it's way more tactical than previous games. And now for me, that's
$70 to see how they did on that.
For me, that's a plus though. If it's more tactical than the other ones, that's a plus. So although a lot of people are upset about that, that makes me look forward more to the game. But the game that I'm like on the fringe of like, do I want to buy it or not? Because I know it's not going to be a streaming service. It's a Nintendo game, and that's Mario Rabbids. Was it Fallen Kingdom? Something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, Spark of Hopes. Rabbit or something.
Spark of Hopes. Yeah, that's out in 2 weeks, and I am kind of looking forward to that game, man.
They did. That's why everybody really mad. I was waiting for Jay to finish his point to bring that up. That's really why everybody mad. It ain't that it's more tactical. It's because you can't slide cancel no more. But somebody found a way to do it. Yeah, somebody found the way to do it though. So you can slide cancel in the game actually.
Yeah. So the slide, look, man. That's why I think it's a good thing.
Call of Duty is trash. Y'all gotta let that game take a year off. I keep on buying it every year. It's gonna stay like this. It's not. Well,
there is no buying it next year because obviously they're taking the year off next year. So if this game is good, great, because that's all you get for at least a year. If it's trash, then we're just not gonna have a shooter.
So I wonder, do that year they take off count for the contract year though? Because that'll be huge. Yeah. That's a big, like, if that year counts in the contract year, I think that's big. If it does, that really sucks for PlayStation people, because then they actually lose a year. Because like really we can't call it on either side whether Xbox gonna do this or not. So like we gotta act like they gonna do it. So if they take a year off, really PlayStation buyers or holders, whatever, owners, they're gonna lose a year, man. So that kind of sucks. I mean, they need some time off, but it's still gonna suck.
Comment from Levante: beta is good, maps were kind of trash. Interesting take. I don't know what master is. I haven't played the beta myself. I actually need to go download it so and play it myself. Vix James: not many happy reviews. That's kind of what I've been seeing. A lot of people mad about certain gameplay stuff, you know. One of them being Dead Silence. There's something going on with the mini map that I read about. Again, I have not actually played it, so things going on where they said like the mini map, you know, you shoot when you shoot the, you know, the red dot pops up, and apparently that's removed or at least scaled back. So now you can't kind of map watch and kind of plot like that.
People want a new game and then complain when the stuff from last year not there. It's not the same game.
Right. Is the beta still available? Yes, the open beta started today at 1:00. Everything else before that was pre-order. So you can go to the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever, and just search Modern Warfare 2. You should find the beta. It's a free download. I think it goes till either tomorrow night or Monday morning, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, you definitely can go in and play right now. The one good thing I have heard is it hasn't been glitchy. Levante, please correct me if I'm wrong. That's just what I've read. It's actually been playing smooth, so which is positive, right? Like I'm sure there's negative and positive about it. Next week I'll have a lot more to say about it. Levante just said it definitely plays different, and there is a map up top. Are the red dots on the map though? Because that's key.
Like
that's how people
shoot.
Yeah, like if you shoot your gun or somebody else does the red dot pop up on the map?
I can't see them taking that out. That's a staple in Call of Duty.
But people were mad about it, so I think they did, or at least they tested it with the beta.
Because they probably trolling them. I can't see them taking that out because they shooting is literally. Like I don't know that one getting taken out. I could see why they would be upset because that make no sense to take the indicators out.
Right, because the last I heard, Dead Silence is still in the game, and obviously that perk revolves around that. So
yeah, I mean you can't hear nobody running, but if they shooting next to you, at least you know like, oh snap, somebody was next to me. But if you can't even see the indicator, if you're somebody that don't got a good headset, it's a wrap. Don't play these games if you don't got a good headset, by the way, because like you just putting yourself at a disadvantage.
That is facts. Yo. So with that said, let's jump into the the topic that Tsunami Wave's going to bring, because I wanted to talk about the anticipation, and that is, take it away, bro.
Oh well, I mean it's not really a topic; it's more of a new colorway. You know what I'm saying? So I ran into some rumors that Xbox Series X is thinking about coming out with the white version. I was just seeing if you felt like maybe you copped a little bit too quick. Would you prefer the white Xbox, or is the black sleek is the best way? You know what I mean? Like which one would you rather? Do you think you bought it too fast? You know what I mean? You know, now that they got a white one coming out.
Nah, I definitely don't think I bought it too fast, because I got it right when it launched. So like that would have been all this time without it, right?
Facts.
Hold that thought real quick, because this is interesting. Red dots only when you use UAV. That's different, Wave. What's your thoughts on that? Like I know you're not high on COD right now, but what's your thoughts on that?
I don't like that. I mean,
you don't like? Okay.
I like the fact that they keep the red dots with the UAV, but there got to be some type of penalty for shooting your gun, right? Like, and that's what the indicators was, because like if you think about it, sometimes you shoot your gun at things that's not really there, or some people just shoot their guns to troll other people. So like the penalty for that, for you to take the game a little bit more seriously, would you be giving up your location? I mean, with the sound, you still could hear, but like I said, some people don't have good headsets, so the red indicator on the map would help. Also, sometimes the foot sounds ain't good, like they just not. So it's not even just the headset. So the indicators kind of help with that too. Just, you know, it just make the game better, you know. And I don't know. I think they kind of missed on taking that. Hopefully they put it back in the game, but I think this is a miss.
Let me ask you one question. I'm going to get back to that white Series X, but I gotta ask this question. Camping. Don't you think this could derail people from camping? Because that's what they do. They literally wait for the gunfire to come near them, then they pop you, high back. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, this is gonna help campers tremendously.
You think so?
Yeah, because the UAV with the red dots, that was there already. Once you pop the UAV, it automatically tell you where everybody at. But
We knew
since
that.
you can shoot without indication, I could be sniping you from across the map, and you won't even, well, not across the map. That's a bad example because you won't see the indicator anyway. But I could be right in the next building and try to shoot at you, right? You could look at your map real quick, and just to see where it came from, you won't see where it came from because the indication is not there. Then I could just go to the next building and do it again, and you still won't know where it's coming from because the indication is not there. So I know I could see that being a big problem.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the major thing, really. It's gonna help campers more than it's gonna deter them. It's gonna make it more of a reason to camp. It's gonna make it easier to camp. So good luck, Call of Duty plans with that.
Shoddy gameplay feels different, and shotgun kills are like one shot done, which I hate. I know how shotguns work in real life, but it's a video game. Huh.
But it's a video game based on real life though, man. So like you gotta take it for what it is. If you far away with that shotgun, it ain't gonna shoot you in one shot. If that's the case, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, you gotta take the shotgun kills like the sniper kills, man. It is what it is with that.
Right. All right, back to this white Series X. The reason why I'm kind of intrigued about it is because for a while, because you have anyone who don't know, I collect video games, right? If you've ever been to my house, you know there's a bunch of consoles stuff around. At one point, I wanted, especially when I found out the PS5 was white, I was like, oh, bet I was gonna get the Series S because it's white, the PS5, and then I was like, eventually they're gonna release a white Series X. Now they're going to. I'm still like, they're going to. Now, but then that kind of fell by the wayside because I was like, I never was able to actually get the PS5. So like, and at that point, I had a chance to get the Series X. I got the Series X. That's obviously black. I'm probably not going to buy it for $500. I'm sure it's going to be $500. They're not going to drop the price because with the new color wave. So I'm not going to buy a console I already have for $500 unless there's something new about it in terms like hardware wise.
I ain't heard nothing about that. Just white.
Right. So I'm sure it's the exact same console. It hasn't had any hardware failures, like a Red Ring of Death type thing. So I don't think that's going to be an issue going forward when it comes to that. So no, my answer is no right now, unless there's a deal on it. And I'm sure my wife is watching or will hear this part, probably rolling her eyes.
Yeah, because she know you lying, boy. She like, he about to buy that shit as soon as it dropped. Like, we all know you lying, bro. You a game collector. I don't know why you in here fronting talking about, yeah, I ain't buying it. Look at the eyes pop up. Yup.
Look.
He over here lying. He over here lying on TV.
Yo, that's hilarious. Yeah. Look, at least not until right now there's two things I'm trying to hunt down, right? The Sega Saturn and the PS5. And like, not so if I get those two, then sure, but like it would be for decoration because I'm not just going to use the white Series X for no reason, right?
All my games for decoration.
Right. So all my data and stuff is already on the Series X that I have. So like, why switch it out, right? Now, eventually, like when we move past the Series X, like for example, I now have the original Xbox One. You remember how that looks, of course. I now have a copy of that because now it's easier to find, right? I don't have to pay $400 for that. So that's kind of how I would approach the white Series X. Right now, there's no reason to actually go spend $500 on it. I got to get the PS5 so I can play God of War, and I got to get the Saturn to complete the rest of the consoles.
So you got to get a system to play one game. That is
Spider-Man 2. If I'm being
talking
fair.
On the Call of Duty thing, like,
oh, okay, yeah.
Like that's how consumers think. Like, I gotta get this for this specific thing.
Fix James, speaking of headsets, you need a recommendation.
Yeah, he need go get some, man. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. I know exactly what he talking about. I owe him a pair of headsets. I was supposed to have sent him. Yeah, I was supposed to have sent him some headsets a minute ago.
Yo, he running down like Demo.
I just thought about it. Yo. Like, what is he talking about headsets? I forgot.
Jimmy Lopez, the message is blank, bro.
Yeah. I just thought about it. I almost forgot. Yeah, I absolutely forgot. Talk about almost.
I know you know.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. Jimmy Lopez.
007 GoldenEye.
I would just buy a Nintendo. You know what? That's facts. And I don't know if you know, Jimmy, but GoldenEye is coming to the Nintendo Switch Online and with online multiplayer. Just
The
saying.
remaster one though.
Yep.
When they remaster, they is remastering it.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot they did.
So, look, man, if you want to play online with the homies, grab an Nintendo. Well, look, I'm getting it regardless. So, anybody who want it in GoldenEye, let me know.
Nintendo. I hate shooting games on Nintendo Switch.
I know.
Like I really don't like they analog sticks. It really sucks for shooting games. Like
it's GoldenEye though, so it's GoldenEye. Right. So like it's not really that in depth.
Yeah, but still, like I'm gonna want to shoot people directly where I want to, and it's gonna take me too long. Like I'm sure I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna play it on stream so everybody can see me struggle, but it's still hard. Them analog sticks, man. They gotta either get some extended. They gotta figure that out. They gotta figure that out for the shooting games.
Jimmy Lopez, one of the best games of all time. Facts. You don't use
agree.
Oddjob, do you? Because if not, I don't know. Like if you use Oddjob, you a cheat code. Golden Gun, 1 shot, 1 kill. Tell that to Levante.
he would not like that.
Right.
He thought the shotgun was bad.
Facts. Maybe N64. Yo, I will say this. I don't know if you guys have a chance to use it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not paying $50 for that.
Yeah, so I have the Nintendo 64 Switch version controller, whatever. It's dope. It's made well. The analog stick, because obviously it was a problem on the original 64 where it would become wobbly and stuff like that. They fixed that, of course. That's the original Joy-Con drift, right?
Wait, that joint was $70, right? The controller.
No, it's 50. It's 50.
50, yeah. I'm still not paying 50 for that. It's not a $50 controller.
I will say the battery life on it is crazy good though, because like I do use it, and I haven't had to charge it yet, and I've had it for about a year now.
I mean, I hope but bro, you know what? That price is really steep, man. All they did was change the connecting piece so it could go to the Switch.
It's wireless.
Right? Oh, it's wired. So, but why is it
$50?
That's too much for me.
It's a wire. Yeah, I mean, how much are PS5 and Xbox controllers? They're about 50, right?
They $70. No,
they 70.
Yeah.
Damn. $70.
$70.
Nah, yeah. I don't know about that, but at that point, I'm gonna go get the $25 Mad Catz joint. Remember
I guess
that?
In that case, I really can't. Yeah, facts. I can't complain though with the newer controllers being $75. Still,
shout out to Mad Catz.
The Mad Cat controllers. Those are the drinks you get for $19.99, man.
Yo, I remember that, son. I would never forget. I was like, I told my pops I need a PS2 controller. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you one. I was like, the original, like PlayStation Sony controller. Yeah, I'm gonna get you one. Came back with the Mad Catz joint.
You got the swirl under it,
right? I was like, nah.
Mad Catz was the last resort. Unless you was broke, then that was the first resort.
Bro, nah, Remember that you playing live 2K or whatever with your homie? You're like, yo, I got next. He passed you the Mad Catz one. You like, nah, I want the dual shot.
Like, don't give me this. This is your house. You use this.
Especially
the worst part is
one.
when the analog just lean to the side. That joint just it don't even stay in the middle. It just it just dropped to the bottom.
Right.
You're still trying to use it. Those was the days, man.
Yo, Mad Catz. Yo, I remember the 64 one. The rumble on the 64 Mad Catz controller was OD. Shout out to Thomas for checking out the live. Yo, it was OD to the point where like playing like GoldenEye with the rumble pack in, that joint would like literally hurt your hands. Like, yeah, Mad Catz was dope because obviously, like you said, it came through in the clutch. If you didn't have the $40 for the new joint, the
dangling controller. Yo, that was the worst, man.
Yeah.
I still was trying to play. I still give people work with the dangling analog stick. If it was working, sometimes it still worked.
Look, man, that's a fact. Yo, for those in the chat, one of the questions we had: what games are you currently anticipating? So we heard from Jimmy with the GoldenEye remaster. Comment down below what games y'all looking forward to, whether it's something on the Nintendo Switch Retro side, whether it's on a new game, whether it's COD or whatever. Let us know, because I am looking forward to that GoldenEye though. Like both versions. I assume that the one that's coming to the Xbox will look a lot better, right? Play a lot smoother. I'm going to assume so. I would hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
That's coming to Game Pass. Disappointed, you mean?
I would be if it's trash.
I mean, can it be trash though? Like, I like?
Yeah, because San Andreas was trash. The remaster was trash. They did not do that game justice. Yes, it can. We have seen it. It's hard. It's gonna be hard,
right?
Because you know where it came from. Like, that game was absolutely not the best graphically. So like, it's not hard to make a better version of that. But they can absolutely mess it up.
Right. Comment from Vic: when you use the N64 controller playing No Mercy and the joystick was tilted, all you would do is you just sit there like
hunting for hours like this, walking up with
yo, especially if you had the rock, you just sit there like like you get your special, you can't even do nothing with it. Yo, that's
just
hilarious.
Holding it in your pocket.
Yo, that's wild. The one thing the only thing I hope for the GoldenEye on both the Switch version and the Xbox version is they gotta figure out the way to switch up the way you like maneuver the gun and the crosshairs, because that was the biggest problem with GoldenEye. I know that game has a lot of nostalgia built into it, but I challenge anyone, go back and play GoldenEye after you played COD or any modern shooting game. Bro, it's hard as hell to like aim. You had to do it. If you guys remember, you had to do it with what? I think it was the C, right? Or the D-pad. One of them you had to aim
in the middle. What? Yeah, I don't know. That joint is nutty.
Vic, why don't they make a Conker's Bad Fur Day? You mean like a new game or a remaster?
I thought they did remake that. They did.
The only thing I heard is it's coming to the Switch Online. So I don't know when though. So
they gotta stop putting shooting games on the Switch until they figure out how to make it better.
So he wants a Conker Bad Fur Day remaster. That
game is that good. I never played that.
Yo, you never played Conker?
Not all the way through.
Yo, Conker Bad Fur Day, legit, bro. Yo, like, yo, Matt. Speaking of that, because you're so hyped for High on Life, is kind of like that type of adult humor. Somehow made its way into a Nintendo game. You know what I mean? Because you know, Nintendo games are a little more light when it comes to that. So, but not Conker. Like, that game was rated mature for a reason. Like, that game was incredible, man. I liked what they did when they remastered it kind of for the original Xbox. But I agree with Vic though. Like, I would love to see them do something with it that now, especially like now we got games like Grand Theft Auto. That was pre-Grand Theft Auto, you know what I mean? Well, Grand Theft Auto 3. So like now that we kind of can push that envelope, I would like to see that.
Grand Theft Auto 3 is like the start of Grand Theft Auto, if we're gonna be honest, but I don't want to take away from the subject.
Yeah, because the first two wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't the same. Like
it wasn't nobody really. Yeah. I played it, but a lot of people didn't really play GTA until Grand Theft Auto 3. That's when it blew up.
Speaking of that, yo, did any of y'all see the leak on Grand Theft Auto 6? I'm just curious. If so, let me know your thoughts.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see what other game developers did in response to that, to the criticism that GTA 6 received?
Nah.
All right, so a bunch of devs, I don't know the list because they didn't really give a list. They were just saying they did this over Twitter. So a bunch of devs started leaking a bunch of their early game developments just to show that that's what an early game should look like. So it's a new game coming out. I forget what the name of the game is called, and they showed what they was working on way beforehand, when it was just a young lady jumping behind boxes doing like Matrix type moves. Like the game looked like it's gonna be dope when they build on top of it, but like they just did that to have GTA 6 back, because a lot of people was trying to call the game trash before they even really came out with anything.
I think that's dope, because obviously it shows solidarity, right? Like,
Yeah,
that they're standing behind Rockstar. Do I really think it's going to change the minds of those people? No. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like the gesture, but it's not going to really change their minds.
I'm like, your game trash too, dog.
right. They're gonna be like, okay, all you did was make a trash game. Like,
what did you show me? I'm not gonna buy yours either. Like, thank you.
Yo, that's crazy. Like, but yo, all right, yo. So with that said, yo, let's get into one guy or girl game versus. It's my week, so I'm gonna take it away. All right, Wave. Here's how we gonna do this. All right. So I thought I actually did this question before, but turns out I didn't. You know what I mean? So I'm going back.
Okay.
I went back and listened to a bunch of like episodes. I could have swore we did this, but I didn't. So, all right, I'm gonna go. This is gonna be like the extra edition of Game Versus, and by that I mean obviously both of us are big fans of sports games.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, huge fans of sports games, going back to Live and NBA Jam and and all that. So
Bird versus Magic Johnson.
You love that game. Like you always mention that game specifically. Like
that's the only sports game my big sister ever played with me. So
right,
that's a big memory for me.
So real quick, I'm gonna let you answer this question from Levante, because I know you are a resident 2K fan.
Yeah, you know me. I'm loving it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to talk about this on the podcast, but last year I started playing 2K again, type heavily. Before then, the last 2 years was trash, so I wasn't playing it. Even last year was kind of trash, but I was playing it with my homeboy, my boy Bass. You feel me? We was just in the wreck, just going crazy, regular stuff, just having fun. Unfortunately, he passed away. And 2K was one of the games that we connected with, and he loved 2K, and I just been playing it just in his memory, I guess. And it's been really great, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm playing a different position, so maybe that's why my perspective changed. The shooting is not there yet. They gotta fix the shooting. I don't like the shooting. So if it was anything I had to critique about it, it'd be that. It's times where you could green and actually miss, but by greening is the only way you could actually make the shot. So in my opinion, if you green in any way, you should make it. There should never be a point where you green and miss, considering that's the only way you can make the shot.
Okay.
Right. So like if you last year and years prior, if you slightly missed the timing, you could still make it a percentage of the time. But now they made it so you don't make it at all. So you have to have the skill to actually make your jump shot. The problem is, like I said, sometimes you green it, and I got videos to prove it, and there's other videos out there to prove it. Sometimes you'll green it, and they'll say it's off. It still make it miss. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Besides that, it's dope. How you feel about it, man? Put that in the comments. Like, do you agree with my feelings about it? Let me know if I'm bugging or something.
Look, I finally downloaded 2K23. I have not actually played it yet, because obviously it's downloading while we're doing this podcast. It's a huge file size, which I got to figure something out, because when COD drop, I already know that's gonna be 10,000 gigs in itself, right?
Right, you're gonna have to buy that white Xbox for that.
right. I might actually need the second one. Like, my wife is probably rolling her eyes in the comments again. She like, don't encourage him.
My bad, I can't help it.
Right. All right, so in the meantime, let's go into this game versus. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give you a hint as to what one of the games is. Perfect. He's on fire. Boom shakalaka boom.
NBA Jam. Yeah, what's up? You know that.
Better game. NBA Streets Volume 2, NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
Oh, we haven't did this.
I thought we did, but we what?
Yeah, this is easy for me. I love both games though. I'm not gonna lie. I still got Tournament Edition on my Xbox right now. I could just literally download it.
Right.
NBA Streets 2, we know once you lose, if you lost that, which I don't have it anymore, it's a wrap. You ain't getting that back. So I'm probably not
Right.
gonna have NBA Streets 2 in the crib, but I got Tournament Edition. I love it. I like the fact that they ingrained the newer people into the game. For me, that made it relate to my timeline growing up watching the NBA. So that was always dope. And then I also remember the older game with for the generation before me, because
Right.
I also played that. And so I love NBA Jam, but for me, NBA Streets Volume 2 is just the superior game. In my humble opinion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
NBA Jam is more of a simulation type 3-on-3 game, whereas even though it's still an arcade game style game, but it's more simulation because it's like
Glad you
organized
said
in a
that.
way. But in a way,
Yeah.
but NBA Street 2 is like little streets. You outside, you scraping your knees on a pavement. Like that's the type of basketball I grew up playing. So
Right.
and I just had done fun. The combos, the game breaker. I forgot what it's called when you
Game breaker.
reach the mat. Oh, game breaker. I was right. All right.
Yeah.
The game breaker, all that stuff. Man, this is just dope. And I was trying to do some of those moves outside for real. Like, man, I don't know. I just think that was the superior game.
So obviously, I love both games. Right. I've talked about both games. Well, we've talked about both games on the show before. I love both games dearly. So I'm being like a little petty when it comes to this because I'm like, which one do I find more nostalgic, right? And the two things is, like I said, NBA Jam got some of the best sound effects ad libs of all time, right? Like
Yeah.
so much so, like it's used in like battle rap like events, is used in like freestyles, like you know what I mean, like that the
Right.
perfect and he's on fire and all that.
Boom
But
shakalaka.
right, but I gotta agree, NBA Streets Volume 2, just when you turn the damn game on, man, and when they reminisce over you come on, like it's a whole different feeling. Yeah.
Like, bro, like, come on.
Like, yo,
Jimmy just made it harder though. If you look at the comments, man. Why
Jimmy
you do that,
Lopez.
Jimmy?
What about NFL Street? Even the NBA Street Volume 2, which is another classic game that shit. All right, so I mean, if you add that in, and now it's NBA Street versus NFL Street, I'm probably only gonna stick with NBA Street just because like when I played that game, I was heavy into NBA Live, right?
Mhm.
Heavy into live. So like I literally was like, for all intents and purposes, I was shitting on NBA Streets at first. Like, ain't nobody trying to play that. I'm NBA Live franchise mode, you know what I mean, and all that. But nah, bro. When I first saw NBA Streets, I think the first one, I was just like, yo, I can't. I got to give it up. And then when they made the second one, bro, from like the modern players at that time with Kobe and Chauncey Billups and all of them to like the retro players, Jordan was in the game, Magic, Wilt, like, bro, you had to be there. That's one of those games that, like, you know how they say, like, you had to be there? That's how I feel about NBA Streets. NFL Streets was dope too, because at that time, I feel like that was the beginning when Madden was dipping and somehow still going. Like, but that's when Madden was dipping. So, like, I still would have to go NBA Streets, but NFL Streets was dope too. Exhibit was a cheat code in that game too, but we're not gonna talk about that.
I agree with you, Jay. I feel like they didn't. NFL Streets was fun. I felt like something was missing from that game though.
Right.
Like I felt like
it didn't have that same feel.
They could have reached a more creative peak than they did in that game. Like I don't think they because honestly, right? Because they think about it, they incorporated basketball in that game in a way where when they was doing moves, they could dribble, right? Why they didn't incorporate soccer moves? If they're gonna make it illegal, why not make it all the way illegal? They could have made soccer. They could have put like Ocho Cinco type things in there where you pull something out your thing and use. Like I just feel like they didn't reach the peak of creativity that they could have when it comes to NFL Streets. As far as NBA Street goes, it's so much you could. It came out first, honestly. And it's just so much you could do with a ball, and they didn't make it. Whereas they was doing mad illegal shit. Like it was kind of every move. Most of the moves they did was kind of legal. Like NFL streets, they was doing stuff dudes ain't doing on the football field because ain't nobody gonna be running down to 20 and then just dribble the football between their legs and do a spin move. Like, you feel me? So like, I feel like you're gonna go ridiculous, go ridiculous. I think they just went like, let's be extreme, but not so extreme. Like they was trying to straddle the fence. They should have just hopped over that motherfucker. That's all.
Slip and slide off the easy. Like, yo, come on, bro.
Right.
Like, it's just different. Like yo, climbing off the walls.
Right.
Yo.
That's what I was saying. They was doing a lot of ridiculous shit that game. It was fun though. I had hella fun. I ain't gonna lie.
Facts.
But I feel like they could have made it more ridiculous.
NFL Streets 2 was dope, but I think by that point they gave up on the franchise already.
Yeah,
because like when Streets 2 came out, like it was no real like promotion of it. Like Streets 1, it was heavy promotion. Like Michael Vick was talking about it, Peyton Manning was talking about it, but by the time Streets 2 came out for NFL, it was just like whatever. Like we back on Madden now, right?
Yeah, so was dribbling the football like like bro.
So Levante did comment back. I don't like the shooting either. Gameplay is smooth though, and it's fluid, especially you dribble moves and fan. It just feels more realistic. So y'all got me hyped for this because last year everybody was talking about how like the defense improved and stuff like that, which it did. But playing, I was like, okay, this don't really feel different. You know what I mean? Like I could see the minor tweaks, but it don't feel different. So if y'all saying
sticky last year, they was like sticky. You couldn't get past nobody.
Right. So like if y'all saying that like it's improved, I'm actually excited to play it then.
Yeah, you got a lot more control over your player this year, and then even defensively. Another thing is like in a rec, if you play rec, I'm a rec player, so I don't really do the park stuff. But if you play rec, you realize that it's not a lot of penalty for making mistakes in that game. Excuse me. So that means like, let's say I make a mistake and go inside of the paint, and my man is at the 3. Right. Usually, if you do that and they kick it to your man, that's an open 3. But until they patch it, I could make up that space and probably block it, or at least run them off the 3. So like, it's still fun. It's just you gotta think a little faster. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just do what you're doing a little bit faster.
My last question regarding 2K23. If you go to throw an alley to LeBron James, did he jump 20 feet in the air before he like
it's more realistic. I think they did a good job. I mean, in the park, you're gonna have that kind of stuff because they have it in the park where you could do them off the wall type of moves. So you're gonna have it where dudes is catching the ball, throwing it between their legs twice, and like, all right. But like as far as like you playing in my career, LeBron is gonna play like LeBron. So you probably might see him catch an alley once or twice that game. But he gonna bust your ass because he LeBron. You get what I'm saying?
Does Anthony Davis make it through a full game?
It's like Anthony Davis was playing as Anthony Davis and got hurt. So it's the real thing. You know I'm saying, and I agree with Levante right here. When you say the AI defense is a lot better, but it's better in the sense that it's not as sticky. You feel me? Like just not in your pocket all day. Like you could actually make a move and get by him.
Poor AD, man. Poor AD. But yo, that's all we got for this episode of Past the Six podcast. Hitting the mic over here. Shout out to y'all for engaging in the comments and stuff like that, checking out the show. We may have to get Levante on to talk some 2K because like he's one of the biggest fans of 2K I ever met. But like he keep it real though. Like I know some 2K fans where each year the game get better and better, right? Like and like I've known them since 2K9. So like they would have said 2K18 and 19 the best game of all time. So like I kind of don't take their opinion where Levante he keep it real about it. So we might have to have him on for the 2K review.
Okay, that'd be dope.
But shout out to Jimmy, Vic, James, Jess, everybody else. We'll catch y'all next week. Yes, without a doubt. We'll catch y'all next week, of course, same time. And one of these times we just gonna do like a mailbag, you know what I mean? Where it's just like whatever, just freestyle, you know? Yeah. But as always, I'm Jay Brown, Tsunami Wave. Take it away.
Hey man, thanks for coming through. We appreciate the engagement, man. This make it more fun, a little, help us immerse into the realm of games a little bit better. Anyway, y'all enjoy your night. It's Saturday, so have a drink for me. Peace.
Peace out.